Hi, Mike here. You're watching Scout Restoration Yukon. In this video, I will restore the front brakes on my 1966 Scout 800. I replaced the shoes, wheel cylinders, and brake hoses. This is not a how-to video. It's a how I do video. I hope you like it. Let's get to work. If you want to help, please subscribe to Scout Restoration Yukon. It's free. These are the part numbers for the front brake shoes and the front left and right wheel cylinders for my 1966 Scout 800. The primary brake shoe is the one with the smaller brake lining. With self-energizing brakes, this shoe always goes to the front. The shoe with the bigger brake lining, the secondary shoe, always goes to the rear. This is the right-hand wheel cylinder. This is the right-hand brake hardware. This is the adjusting lever. It goes on the bottom of the secondary shoe, like this, right there. This is the adjusting screw and socket. I've thoroughly cleaned them. I will now put a liberal coating of Never Sees on the threads on this adjuster. Make sure I have lots of Never Sees everywhere, but not too much. We don't want it oozing out and getting on our brakes or anything like that. But a good liberal portion of that. And this one is left-hand thread. And probably this Never Sees is going to bunch up at the end here. I'll just screw it right on and then just give it a wipe. Also a little bit of Never Sees here. So that's that one done. I'll just do the same for the other side. The driver's side is right-hand thread. Sorry. Just wipe it off a little bit. This is the screw and lever assembly. It's a 1/4 inch National Fine thread. It goes here in the secondary shoe, orientated like this. And the two rods connect here and here, as you'll see later. Unfortunately, these new brake shoes are not threaded. I'm tapping this secondary shoe, 1/4 inch National Fine. I don't think I really need to lubricate it. It's pretty easy to do here. And just a tiny little dab of Never Sees. I'm just tightening that up pretty tight with a screwdriver. You can see here how this acts as a fulcrum for the two control rods. I'll just take those back off again. I just put them on there to show how it goes. 1, 2. Same thing other side. These are the brake shoe push rods. Before I install them, I'm just going to clean them up. They're not pitted or grooved or anything. So I'm just cleaning them up a little bit with some steel wool, just to make them nice. That makes a difference already. I could use emery cloth or whatever I want. But anyway, I just want these to be nice and smooth. And now there's little pieces of steel wool on this paper towel, so I'll just shake it off. And so there they are, cleaned up. So this is the rubber. This goes through the rubber like this, and it's a very tight fit, and it goes onto the groove. So I want to install the push rods into the rubber. So what I'm using is this brake lubricant. Synthetic dielectric grease. It's disc brake lubricant. I could use Never Sees, but this stuff's way better. So I'm just going to put a little bit of this on each rod, like so. Just a dab on there. Push this through till it pops right onto the groove. It goes very well when it's lubricated. See? And then I can just pop it. You got to watch the piston doesn't come out, and then you just have to pop it back on here, right? And once again, Get that on there. So there we are, wheel cylinder, ready to install. Passenger side. I'll just do the same thing with the driver's side. Before installing the brake shoes, I've already installed the adjusting lever, and then I want to install the adjusting wheel on the same side as the lever, like this. And the bottom spring on this side goes up from underneath, and on the other side, just have to stretch the spring a little bit and pop it in that hole there. So that's all I need to do. That's ready to install.
Attention fellow Scout enthusiasts. Thanks for watching. I hope that you're getting useful insights from my videos. If I can earn 1,000 subscribers, I will be able to create Scout videos for a long time. Please like and subscribe so that we can continue this journey for years to come. I will show all the details. Over and out. I will now install the driver's side wheel cylinder and the brake shoes. So let's get to work. Now, I've loosened off the bleeder screw so the air can get out. I put never seize on the bolts. There's one bolt started. Second bolt started. Just screw them in by hand. The torque for the wheel cylinder bolts is 24 to 27 foot-pounds. I'm just using a 1/4-inch drive ratchet with a 7/16 socket on it, and I'm running these bolts in to make sure everything's lined up properly, nothing's cockeyed or anything like that. I don't have a torque wrench that'll fit in here, but I got a pretty good feel for torque, and just tighten them up. They're just 1/4-inch bolts, so I'm just tightening them up and giving them a little bit extra, but not too much. It doesn't take much actually to break a 1/4-inch bolt. So they're tight, and then the next thing is I have to put on the brake line. It's a little bit tight. It needs lubricated. The nuts, the flare nuts need lubricated. So I'm going to stop for a minute. For installing the brake line, I have to remove a bolt from the upper kingpin on the knuckle here. Remove this bolt. And it's pretty tricky to start this. You have to be very careful not to cross-thread the fitting in the wheel cylinder. This bolt secures the brake line. So I'm torquing this to 40 foot-pounds. I'll just check the others because I'm here anyway. Now with the 7/16 open-end wrench, start to tighten this nut. That's snug. Let's finish tightening it with the flare nut wrench. And the little cap that was in the wheel cylinder now goes on the open line to prevent contamination. So now that's done. Now I'm lubricating all the contact points on the backing plate with synthetic brake lube. Just put a little lubricant here and here. Then we have this wedge, goes on here, here and there. Cross goes on here. And here's the brake shoes. I'm putting the wheel cylinder push rods into the slots on the shoes. Remember, I left the bleeder screw open so I can compress the pistons. So the next thing I have to do is install these pins and clips here. Now I'm pushing the pin through from the rear of the backing plate. You get that spring on there. That's a little bit of a better shot. The pin is through, the clip is just partially on there. So give a little push with the screwdriver. There. So now the pin is on there and it's in the groove, so it won't fall out. Same thing on the other side.
I just want to line these up a little bit. Okay, so far so good. Next thing is the brake springs. So this little tab here that the brake spring hooks on was not in a very good position. I had to bend it a little bit. It's a lot better now. So now I'm just using my brake spring pliers to pop the spring on. That's a lot better now. That one's held on there, and that one's, they're much more secure. The next thing is the control rods. So the upper control rod goes up here just like that. Now the lower control rod goes down to the adjuster spoon. I call it an adjuster spoon. Actually, it's a adjusting lever, according to International. So that's all good now. To adjust that, so there's the adjuster. So I've connected the control rod to the adjusting spoon. And if you note, the adjuster is just barely engaging with the tooth on the wheel. So I think I want to bend it just a little bit. But just give it a little twist like that with a pair of pliers, you see. Yeah, it's engaging better. So this adjuster is adjusted all the way in. To tighten up the brakes from the inside, you would turn it up like this. It would go up. But we don't want to make it any bigger because it's a perfect fit the way it is. So I'll just back that off again. It's just important if when you turn it, if you hear that click, it clicks every time you turn it. So that means it's not going to back off on its own or anything like that. So it's good to go. The front brake drums are 10-inch Lockheed style drums. The maximum diameter is 10.06 inches. 0.06 is almost 1/16. 1/16 would be 0.0625. If I measure it with this big vernier, when doing an inside diameter measurement, you have to allow 3/8 of an inch for the two of these. And so what that gives us is, here's 0, 1, 2, 3/8. So this is what we have right here. The diameter is 9 15/16. That's what it measures. And the other side is the same. So these 10-inch drums actually measure 9 15/16. Now I'm installing the brake drum. And there's just a very slight drag. You can hear it touching. If I set the brake up, it gets too tight right away. So they're backed off all the way, and they're just perfect. So these are going to last for a long, long time. It's fantastic. It's like almost even better than new, because we're fitting a 9 15/16 drum onto 10-inch shoes. I forgot to mention that I re-arced the brake shoes to fit the drums. These are the front brake hoses. The top end of the brake hose goes through this hole on the inner fender. And then there's a nut and a star washer go on the inside. I put the nut on the other side dry because I don't want any never sees or anything like that anywhere near my brake system. Now I'm connecting the brake hose to the brake line coming from the wheel cylinder. I won't tighten this. I'll just snug it so it still moves, because I never tighten the fittings on hoses and things until the hose is in its final position. Now I'm securing the hose with this clamp, but before I put the clamp around the hose, I want to put a little piece of inner tube around the hose like this. Then I'll slide the clamp, open the clamp up more, slide the clamp over the inner tube, and now I'm ready to secure this. It's a 5/16 fine thread bolt, put never sees on it, it goes through there. So that is what we want. Now I'm tightening that up with the 7/16 socket and holding the nut with the 7/16 wrench. That's secure. So the line is secure, It can't rub on this little clamp. We don't want it rubbing. Just turn it down a little bit, tighten it a little more. There. This is all good. Now that the line is secure, I can tighten the fitting. I'm holding the brake hose with a 5/8 open-end wrench, and tightening the flare nut with a 3/8 open-end wrench. And now I'm going to final tighten it with the 3/8 flare nut wrench. Get a good seal. There. The last thing I have to do is tighten the nut on the inside of the fender. So to tighten this end of the brake line, I'm going to hold it with a 3/4 wrench here, and then I will go around the other side and tighten it with a 15/16 wrench. Okay, that's plenty tight. Now I will do the same thing on the other side. In conclusion, I'm very happy with the front brakes on my Scout. They will last for many miles and years. In my next video, I will tear down and inspect the brake master cylinder. Then ship it out to be rebuilt with a stainless steel sleeve. I will purge the rebuilt master cylinder, install it, and bleed the front brakes. I hope you like it. If you want to help, please subscribe to Scout Restoration Yukon. It's free. Mike Morrow, over and out.